2020, 18 students and activists are arrested for terrorism. 16 are Muslims. Their alleged crime: rioting and violence in Delhi. In truth, they have been jailed because they protested India's new citizenship law that could disenfranchise Indian Muslims. These prisoners of conscience are Sharjeel Imam, Khalid Saifi, Tahir Hussain, Salim Malik, Muhammad Salim Khan, Miran Haider, Shadab Ahmad, Gulfisha Fatima, Taslim Ahmad, Shifa ur Rahman, Adhar Khan, Umar Khalid. 6 others have been bailed but are pending trial: Ishrat Jahan, Safura Zargar, Asif Iqbal Tanha, Natasha Narwal, Devangana Kalita, Muhammad Faizan Khan. On December 11, 2019, India's parliament passed the Citizenship Amendment Act, introducing a religious basis for citizenship, combined with the National Registry for Citizens that imposes a demanding requirement to prove citizenship. This makes Indian Muslims the most vulnerable to be stripped of citizenship. The Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights has called the CAA fundamentally discriminatory and incompatible with India's international human rights obligations. The law's passage immediately triggered powerful nationwide protest. India's capital, Delhi, became an axis of the movement symbolized by the protest at Shaheen Bagh. Many students and activists arrested later led these protests. Hindu nationalist politicians of India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party called the protesters traitors. On February 22nd and 23rd in 2020, Hindu nationalist figures began mobilizing their supporters against anti-CAA protests in northeast Delhi. A BJP politician publicly threatened action which even the police will not be able to control. Hindu mobs appear on the streets of 23rd and violence erupts in northeast Delhi. 4 days of violence sees targeted attacks against Muslim and their homes, shops, and mosques. 53 people are killed, 40 Muslims and 13 Hindus. Over the next months, the police arrested hundreds. These 18 were charged as the masterminds of a conspiracy to defame India by engineering violence between Hindus and Muslims. They have been charged under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, or UAPA, which is India's most draconian anti-terrorism law that restricts legal rights and allows incarceration for years without trial. Several UN special rapporteurs condemned their arrests and demanded their release. The police are being called out for their case against the 18 arrestees. Judges, jurists, activists, and journalists have exposed recurring holes in investigations, including doctored statements, lack of evidence, and fabricated charges. The Delhi High Court has repeatedly cited the lack of any factual material in the charge sheets. Granting bail to an accused, the court noted that despite the use of alarming and hyperbolic verbiage, the prosecution's case was based upon interference drawn by the prosecuting agency and not upon factual allegations. In another bail ruling, the court said, "We can discern no specific or particularized allegation, much less any material to bear out the allegation, that the appellant incited violence, what to talk of committing a terrorist act or a conspiracy or act preparatory to the commission of a terrorist act as understood in the UAPA. The police have not investigated the trail of hate speech and incitement of violence by Hindu extremist leaders." In violation of international and Indian law as per his family, the police stripped Adhar Khan and tortured him, making him sit on his haunches for hours and hold his ears as though begging for forgiveness. Most prisoners have reported that Islamophobic prison officials have harassed them by blocking medical care, family, and lawyer visits. Many have been assaulted by prison officials and fellow inmates. The international community must demand the immediate release of these 18 leaders and an end to the false and biased cases against them.
मेरे बेटे ने कुछ ऐसा काम नहीं किया जो इसके ऊपर मुकदमे लगा दिए, ना उसने संविधान के दायरे के में रह करके लोकतंत्र को बचाने के लिए और इस देश के संविधान को बचाने के लिए के दायरे में उसने प्रोटेस्ट किया है।